We just looked at doors. Now we'll look at another element of the building envelope, the window. And as you know, windows come in all different sizes and all different styles, and the style may vary depending on what the sash is doing. The sash is a word that means that frame that holds the glass. So a fixed sash is just a window that doesn't move. Its frame is just fixed there. If you have two sashes, like in the upper picture, that's called a double hung window. So two sashes, two frames with glass in them, slide past each other. You can also, of course, have horizontal sliding sashes. Those are common in modern ranch-style houses. You can have sashes that swing on hinges, could be vertical hinges or horizontal hinges. When we draw windows on drawings, we don't draw every detail accurately. We don't represent what the window actually looks like. We use symbols, and in the elevation you use these kinds of super simplified lines to be symbols of windows. In the plan view, they look like these lines down here. And as I note here in the words, we also talk about windows in schedules, and that's where we get the detail, and we'll look at that last today. All right, well, there are all kinds of symbols for representing the glass in a window, depending on what style of window you've got. And as you recall, the wall is drawn with a thick line on the A wall layer. The glass is drawn with a thin line on the A glaze layer. And here are some of the representations of various styles of window glass. Personally, I prefer to save some time and just use the plain generic symbol, and it looks like this. It's fast. As you can see, there are three thin lines. The outer two thin lines line up with the lines on the wall, and then there's another thin line in the middle. And in my opinion, that works just fine, and you don't have to fool with symbols, and you can call out what style of window it is on your schedule. If you're going with more representative symbols, you might want to represent the sill, and again, the sill is the horizontal piece underneath the window. There it is. There's a horizontal piece. That's the sill. And you might draw it flush, lined up with the wall, or you might draw it sticking out a little bit. Here are some more. Flush or sticking out a little bit. But again, if you use the generic version, which this very bottom plan view looks like, you can just draw it flush with three lines and be done with it. Don't let me talk you into doing something that's sloppy. I'm just saying it works fine. Now, just like doors, when you draw windows in elevation view, you use hidden lines to represent where the hinges are. And the hidden line points like an arrow towards the hinge. So here on the left is a window that hinges at the top and swings outward. Here on the right is a window that is hinged vertically along the side and swings outward. Next, we're going to look at window rating. Oh, sorry. No, next we're going to look at dimensioning. I forgot. We saw this slide when we talked about doors, but reminder, for windows as well, we dimension to the center of the window opening. And lastly, normally you don't need to draw a detail of a window. If you're just using a stock window, like you buy from the supply house, you don't need a detail because your framer knows very well how to put that into the house wall. You only need to draw a section or a section detail, like you see here, if there's something special about this window that's unusual. And notice all these X's here. Those are the symbol for framing members shown in section. All right, now we will go on and talk about the rating system.